What's up? We're here on Time Crisis TV, live from Austin, Texas, here for the Vampire Weekend show, The Only God Was Above Us album release, Eclipse show at the Moody Amphitheater in downtown Austin. But you know us, we're not just going to be talking about Austin, we'll be talking about Dallas, a little bit of El Paso.
The Eclipse. And you guys will maybe check out a little bit of the backstage scene.
For sure.
I'm going to be busy, but a lot of fun stuff here on the first visual episode of Time Crisis. Time Crisis, back again, live in Austin, Texas. What's up, fellas?
This is a very un-TC setting.
Yeah, this is like when Wayne's World went pro, when Rob Lowe got Wayne's World to be like a real TV show. Yeah, we're filming it, trying something new. We got Jake and Nick. So, you know, it's interesting. Seinfeld claims his flight was getting in late, but also I think he likes to keep a little more mystery.
What would we have done?
If he came?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd wear like a Seinfeld mask? I don't know. He probably for the best. Let the man have some, have a little bit of mystery.
All right, we're at Moody Amphitheater in Austin, Texas. This is Seinfeld 2000. We've just run into a friend of the show, Holly McLaren, like the car, right?
Yeah, just like the car. Spelled different, but said the same.
Holly McLaren, you have a unique position with the TC universe, but why is that?
I run the Time Crisis Universe Wiki, so if you need to know anything about Time Crisis or the Time Crisis universe, go to tcwiki.fandom.com and you'll find out everything you need to know.
That's so cool. Thank you for your service. Thank you for doing that and because, you know, on the show, when we need to look up facts about the show, we will refer to you're the true source of truth for the show. So
I provide the numbers for the number crunch.
That's right. So let me ask you a question. Now you are a part of the show, which means that at a certain point, you are going to be recapping a show, and you're going to have to refer to yourself as a guest of the show, and you're going to also have to refer to yourself potentially on future episodes as a callback to the, is this getting too insular? How do you feel? It's very meta at this point.
It is pretty meta, but I think callbacks and self-referential humor is kind of like one of the core tenets of Time Crisis, not a core value. I want to make that distinction, but yeah, I feel it's pretty integral to the show.
Holly, thanks for talking to us. I'm so glad that you could be now on the show that you write about.
I mean, great to meet you guys. It's a cool vibe, like putting, usernames to faces and everything like that. Yeah, it's a good time. I hope you guys have an awesome time.
You're listening to Time Crisis.
Well, here we are in Texas together. This is our special Austin episode for the Vampire Weekend album release show plus the Eclipse.
A TC prophecy that came true.
Yeah, so this idea was kind of cooked up originally on TC.
Yeah. Like in 2017.
When you told me about going to the Wyoming Eclipse.
Yeah.
The next U.S. Eclipse is on my 40th birthday.
Really?
Yeah, April 8th, 2024.
Dude.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we get some of the fellas together. Maybe we rent a house.
I guess I'll be 47. How surreal is that?
Damn.
47.
So we all gonna be old as Maybe we'll get a house together. Actually, I can't say for sure yet if it'll be appropriate to do just the fellas. It might have to be, maybe we'll have kids and stuff. Maybe it has to be like a family event. Here we are. This part we're recording before the show. Then you guys are going to take it to the streets and...
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. There's been some questions about the weather.
It's cleared up though.
Well,
do you have an alt plan, right?
I've been getting reports from the Live Nation in-house meteorologist. Talking about it. Well, we'll see. Look, here's the thing. I just hope that anybody who's a real Eclipse head doesn't come to Austin. You got to be in your truck.
An umbrophile is what I...
Is it what?
An umbrophile is
an Eclipse watcher?
Yes.
All right, let's stick with Eclipse head. But if you're really an Eclipse head, you can't be coming into the city. You got to be out in your truck, ready to move at a moment's notice, out in Big Sky country. But people are saying even if it's cloudy, there'll be some interesting vibes. So we'll see. We'll see how the weather goes. But it's very nice that we're all convening here. Jake, you've been in Texas for a few days, as have I.
Yeah, I just drove in from Dallas this afternoon. The last thing I did before getting in the car was step in like 2 feet of mud.
Whoa.
On the banks of the Trinity River in Dallas.
Whoa.
And then hop directly in the car and drive straight here. Dropped the car at Austin Airport, got in a taxi here, pounded to Topo Chico. I'm ready to go. Here we are on site, Moody Amphitheater, Austin, Texas. April.
Oh, it's Despot.
Nice!
Wait.
Core crew member Despot rolling in.
I'm back.
April 8th, 2024, 90 minutes out from the Vampire Weekend show. The Crisis crew is assembled. We taped yesterday. Seinfeld's here,
Yeah.
but maybe you want to just face away from the camera if you want to maintain your anonymity.
Just do that. I could do like the
You gotta
Travis
give
Scott.
him
What's the Travis Scott move? Hey, Despot, you're in the Mary Boone video.
Yeah. I drove a van.
How many takes was that?
I stopped counting after like 6 or 7. I hadn't really slept the night before. And I kept making the same illegal turn to get back into the tunnel to go back to Jersey. And I was waiting to get in trouble for it so that we could stop. And it didn't happen. So I had to keep doing it.
Pretty thick cloud cover here today.
Yeah.
Not boding well for the eclipse.
I've been refreshing the weather app. Yeah, it's a little.
But it's more about a feeling.
I know,
think.
it is what
It's
it
a
is.
feeling.
And the sky is still going to turn like black, right?
Yes.
No.
No?
It's an uncanny light.
It's going to be nighttime.
It's not. It's an uncanny light.
Time Crisis.
Well,
I listened to your album today
oh yeah.
for the first time.
Nice.
Really? Yeah, I think I'm the last person on earth to hear your album.
As you should be.
I got texts from a few people being like, "Oh my God, this Vampire's incredible," and I was like, "I haven't heard it yet." Well, it came out today's Sunday.
Yeah, so
Taping this
it
on a
only came out
Sunday.
2 days ago.
Came out, and then I was like in my zone, driving around the rental car. I was getting in and out of the car every 5 minutes. I didn't want to like start. I
No,
was
I
gonna listen
get
to the
it.
record. I wanted to
Yeah.
listen to the record without it.
And so
stopping.
you had finally had time driving from Dallas to
So I
Austin.
listened to it twice in a row. I listened to it all the way through. Then I did 45 minutes of silence, and then I pushed play.
Just to process.
I didn't want to just like go right back into it.
Did you feel like you'd heard a lot of it before? I've played you stuff here and there.
Not really, man.
Okay.
You'd played me a demo of Capricorn like 3 years ago, which we
Right.
discussed on the
Yeah.
show. And then I've heard the 4
Yeah.
singles. So I mean, the last song, Hope.
Yeah, had you ever heard that?
Well, it's such like a classic sounding kind of old kind of folk song at its
Right.
core that
And-
I was
and-
like,
and the chorus
have I
comes
heard-
over and over
Yeah,
again.
and I was like, when
Right.
the chorus started for the first time, it was immediately familiar.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, is it like the undeniable logic of the song that is familiar, or did I hear this 3 or 4 years ago?
Right.
I'll never know. But the flow of the record is amazing.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Because
We got,
a few episodes ago, we listened to the first 2 singles.
Yeah, we'd listen to classical and we listened to classical and Mary Boone on the last show.
And then before that, we listened to the other ones. But yeah.
Yeah. No, we got lucky with the flow. I knew that Ice Cream Piano was track 1. And I knew Hope was track 10.
Oh,
And-
interesting.
And I really wanted to keep it at 10. There was a moment where it almost became 11 songs.
You also
Almost dropped New York Hospital on it.
You did express some
Which is a good
concern
song.
about having the first line be "fuck" at some point.
Dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah.
I don't want to alienate the families.
Well, it's an adult band.
But you know
You
what?
guys-
And also the truth is,
You guys are pushing 40.
one of our most
You can swear.
one of our most famous early. That's actually something I've noticed too. Being a parent, when people drop an F-bomb or any sort of foul language in the house, and they see your kids around, say, "Oh, I'm sorry." I always say, "Let them hear it."
Yeah, I don't
I've noticed that with you.
Yeah,
care.
let the boy let the boy hear it. But the truth is, I also feel like I also just feel like, just like many things in life, there's something good about being like, this foul language is out there. You might hear it. You might even hear mom and your daddy drop it every now and then, as long as you understand it's an adult word. Just like, would you have a beer in front of your daughter, Jake?
Absolutely.
But you're not going to let her have one.
Nope.
Exactly. So I put it in the same category.
I like that. Beer and swearing.
Yeah,
That's stuff for grown-ups.
And actually, one
coffee too.
Yeah, that's right. One time, my son was trying to tell us this story, and he kind of got like flummoxed, and he's like, "This part involves a bad word," and I was like, "You can say it. You can say it in the context." And he was like, "It was shut up." It was like similar, but he like really paused. I was like, "All right, good. You know, you're being thoughtful." Mm-hmm. Anyway, how do we get on that?
The first word on the album.
And I was saying because our first album, one of the biggest songs, Oxford Comma, which is full of F-bombs. It is pretty funny to picture that our sweet first album with a parental advisory explicit lyrics on it. But
are those the only two swears in the Vampire catalog? Oxford Comma and what's the first one called? Ice Cream Piano?
Yeah. That's a good question. Maybe. Yeah.
You're listening to Time Crisis.
All right.
Hey.
What's your name?
Parker.
Parker, you a fan of Time Crisis?
Absolutely.
The internet radio show?
Yeah, not the podcast.
That's right.
This is one of the greatest collections of shirts we've ever seen. Spanning all eras of Vampire Weekend history, plus some other stuff.
Another question.
Yeah.
The Surfer.
Yeah.
Is that the only fade
in Vampire Weekend history?
Yeah. I love that ending of The Surfer. That deep kind of.
That's an RL call.
That instrumental passage.
There's not a ton of fades.
It really stood out. I was like,
bare minimum, there's not a lot.
A vampire fade.
Vampire fade.
Because usually you guys have like the hard out.
Bum.
Yep.
Bum bum bum. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the sequencing, I've always relied heavily on other people for sequencing. Even when we were in college, the couple things I put my foot down about when I wanted to start the band was saying, I'm open to collaboration for sure, but I want to pick the songs. I just didn't want to have to be like voting on songs all the time, and I felt like I could, judge. Somebody needed to be like the final arbiter of the material. But that said, I never felt like I had a great knack for sequencing. And who's really good at Bayo?
Well, with the live shows, doesn't he do a lot of the set list?
He almost always does the first draft of the set list. And I might have some opinions here and there, but he's got good instincts with it. And an interesting one in that regard is that it was his call to make classical track 2. And I remember
the way the Ice Cream Piano goes into classical is so sick. It almost feels like one song.
Yeah, and they're in the same key.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty good.
Okay.
And they're both in C, classic. And then Capricorn's in G, so far it's like flowing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. For some reason, I just thought classical was like a back half thing. But now I look back and I'm like, I'm so glad classical is there because actually the narrative, I only saw the narrative once it was kind of sequenced. Because class, I think we talked about this a little bit when we listened to classical, how like Ice Cream Piano with the fuck the world energy, classical with the cruel becomes classical, Capricorn has some brightness, but connect, I can't connect. It's good that those are clustered in the beginning.
So the album brightens a
yeah,
little bit
and maybe it doesn't like sonically brighten, but I do think The Surfer represents like a big turn because, it's like this big song in the middle and it has kind of like a different energy and I just think like lyrically the kind of like worldview kind of changes towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad we went with that, and I'm glad it was only 10 tracks. Cause
what's it like? Is it like 35 minutes? How long?
No,
it's 47
long. Some of the songs
minutes.
are long, so it's 47.
Really?
Well, because Hope is 8 minutes.
Flew by.
Good.
Felt like
that's what I want to hear.
Like 35, dude.
Yeah, Hope's 8 minutes, and Connect's over 5. And
8 Minute Hope, dude.
8 Minute Hope. I mean, we could. So it would be really easy to get Hope to 10.
I really like on Hope. There's like the song that you maybe wrote on an acoustic guitar or something, and it has this really classic, timeless. That's the only song that kind of reminded me of The Dead a little bit, and it felt like it's a song that you wrote, but it feels like it could have been some old song that you resurrected.
It really
somehow.
feels like
it's totally
like
a
New
folk
Dylan
song
to me. I mean, that's.
But I was gonna say, like, I really like how you start playing with the chord progression. There's that whole long instrumental part on Hope.
Oh yeah, there's a bridge where it totally changes.
And it just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I was just driving at 80 miles an hour, listening to it twice. So I was like, it's such a basic chord progression, and it sounded like that to me. And then it was interesting how you could really pull out so much.
Oh, yeah, the bridge
variation.
goes somewhere different. And then with all these like little parts coming in and out, it takes it on a journey. Yeah, and that song, it's only 5 verses. I kept thinking of that song because to me, that's like the closest we've had to like a Dylan or a Neil Young song that's just a lot of verses.
Yeah.
Where like the classic folk song structure where the chorus is simple, and then you got your chorus, and then you just start thinking about how many different ways can I slice this with different verses. I might have written 12 verses for it.
And how many is it?
It's only 5 in the end.
Interesting.
But, you could argue, I don't know, are they double verses or something? But yeah, I really like spent a lot of time over the years like thinking which verses I thought kind of like really fit the tone of the song and making sure they were like kind of different enough. And that was, there's like a heaviness to that song, but it was kind of fun just like sitting down after a few months when I hadn't thought about it in a while, just like trying to write a few new verses and seeing if this line is better than that line. But yeah, totally. I think I want to do a tour sometime. I mean, the tour we're about to start, which really starts in like June, that's going to be big. Got a 7-piece band again. Full volume kind of thing. But at some point I'd love to do like, maybe not like totally an acoustic show, but like, like a quiet tour, maybe just like a week or 2. Cause like a song like that would just be so fun just to do stripped down, kind of like rootsy.
Yeah. We had talked about the reverse Stop Making Sense or something, just like by, stripping something back to get to that.
Yeah. To get to the acoustic at the end.
Yeah, like a long dirge.
Yeah, because all these songs do sound good acoustic.
You're listening to Time Crisis.
All right, so I noticed you're wearing, are these homemade Vampire Weekend Eclipse goggles?
I did not make them, but someone homemade them, yes.
Where did you get them?
So there was a fan meetup yesterday in Butler Park in downtown Austin for TC heads, organized by the dog, and 40 other TC heads, and pretty incredible experience.
What did you guys talk about? Just TC, just throughout?
Just merch. I mean, the whole thing was like it was a swap meet, so like everybody brought their merch and like you exchanged merch items.
This sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I heard Winter is in town.
Winter is in town, and he was there. So,
is he considered a fan, or is he sort of a special guest?
He's above Platinum Elite status. He's top TC tier.
Royalty.
Yeah, TC royalty.
Did you do any Starbucking in the last day or 2?
I did. I took a roundabout route that took me all the way down into Mexico, one of the border towns, Reynosa, and then all the way up here. Believe it or not, my greatest worry when I went for my 6-month global tour was that Vampire would release their album while I was on tour and go on tour, and I'd miss it. But the timing worked out. I haven't even been back in the U.S. for 1 month, and already I get to see this like album release show.
Awesome. Well, dude, it's so cool you made it to Austin.
I'm just thrilled to be here. This was like a weekend filled with so much stuff. As long as the world doesn't end when the sun goes out, it's going to be awesome.
When was the last time you performed?
Last time we performed, this show tomorrow, the Austin show, will be our first concert since summer 22 at Pennaport Festival in Korea.
Wow.
From Incheon to Austin. I think, yeah, there's nothing in between.
Did you, wait,
it doesn't feel that long
Did
ago.
you play shows in the States post-pandemic?
Yes.
But not a tour, but some
No,
festivals?
yeah, kind of one-off festivals. We played, when things were starting to open back up, late 21, we played Outside Lands in San Francisco. That was a great show. Then we played some Midwestern festivals in Ohio and Indiana. We played one in Texas. Yes, we've been all over. And then we closed it out with, I guess you'd call it like a mini tour, Fuji Rock in Japan. That was our last show. And truly, that was a great show. And then, so that was 1.5 years ago, which, again, Vampire Weekend's gone 4 years without playing shows, so this doesn't feel that long. And we've been rehearsing a bunch. But, this is, in some ways, this is kind of like a big show to start with.
Huge.
If you asked me like a year ago, I'd be like, yeah, maybe we'll do some warm-up gigs, play a club show in El Paso.
I mean,
on the way
the
over.
Ojai show was probably your kickoff.
Yeah, that was a little bit smaller for Father of the Bride. But you know what? This is outdoors. It's a unique situation. We've got so many like friends in town. So I can tell you, I guess I can tell you guys now because by the time this airs, the show will happen. We got special guests.
Great.
You know what's interesting? Both of our special guests are Francophone. You want to guess?
They're Francophone?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
I know one of them, so let's see.
They're fans of the French?
No, that's Francophiles.
Oh, Francophone.
These are French.
No, these are, as Nick said before, they're Umbrophile Francophones.
Wow.
Because
They just happen to be here for the Eclipse.
They're Umbrophile Francophones.
Tomas, friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Tomas from Phoenix. He's going to come because, you know, we did that song together.
Right.
Never performed it live. And he has invited me to perform it with Phoenix before, but it never quite made sense. So for better, for worse, the first version performed will be with the dubs. It'll sound a little different. So that's one.
Let me think here. The other...
They've all been guests on Time Crisis, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Dave won, but you wouldn't call him a Francophone because he's French-Canadian.
Wait,
no, of course but that is Dave won. Of course he's Francophone.
Wait, sorry, what is Francophone
I mean, don't get mad.
mean?
Don't get mad at me about it. I was trying to clarify. Would you say some of this?
Francophone is if you speak French.
If you speak French.
Oh, yes, he speaks French.
I see. Okay, cool.
Right.
So Dave,
and he might be a Francophile too.
I bet he is. Is Dave going to sing a Vampire Weekend song? Or?
No, we're going to do a Chromia song.
Tight.
No, but Dave's first language is French.
Yes.
He grew up speaking French at home. So I guess you call somebody Francophone even if French was their second language. But these are two guys whose first language is French.
Makes perfect sense in Texas.
Well, also, have we talked about the fact, you know, that there was Six Flags over Texas, right?
Sorry, what?
Have we...
There was Six Flags over...
Yeah. There were Six Flags over Texas. You know about this thing?
No, not Magic Mountain.
Well, okay, you know why it's called Six Flags?
No.
Because the first one is from Texas. And there were Six Flags over Texas.
I don't understand the phrase that you're saying right now. There were Six Flags over Texas.
So I assume that there was a point where there were six different... You're going to say a French flag over Texas?
Okay, you know Texas, the state?
Yes.
Over it, Six Flags.
Okay, end of the episode.
Can I be any clearer?
You're saying once there was like a Mexican flag, there's a United States flag.
Yes.
French flag.
French?
That's the one that people always forget.
Spanish?
Okay, hold on. I've done this so many times in my life. There's probably somebody in this room who grew up in Texas and actually did Texas history curriculum in middle school.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, you were learning about Connecticut history. How many flags were there over Connecticut?
2? Great Britain, United States.
Yeah, and you know that amusement park from Connecticut, 2 flags?
Wait, that's the origin of Six Flags?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's so
okay,
cool.
Let's do our best.
Little history lesson.
Yeah, so that's a phrase that people who know Texas history knows, that there were Six Flags over Texas. And that's why this amusement park, which started in Texas, called Six Flags. By the time you get to Six Flags Magic Mountain or in California, and then the fact, you know, it's bizarre because, like, does the average Californian know that? But the Six Flags, okay, let's go through them. Let's see if we can get them. There's Mexico, USA, Spain, and I believe England and France. France is like the random one that you forget about. And then the 6 would be...
Obviously, yes, France had like the East, you know, like Louisiana and stuff. I wonder if they had like a chunk of Eastern Texas.
Must have been.
Right.
And then the 6, of course, is the independent Republic of Texas.
Yep.
For real?
Yeah, Texas was Indy. You didn't know that?
I think I did. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
That's what the flag is from, right?
Yeah.
Is that the Alamo? Okay, this is dumb.
No, and by the way, it was not England. It's the Confederacy.
Ah.
Oh, so actually, if it was England, that means 7 flags.
But there was no England.
They should change that. But what if there was? Okay, all right. Okay, so no England.
Flags doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No England.
Okay, so Mexico, America, Spain, France, Confederacy, Indy. Independent
United States.
Independent Republic of Texas. Those are the 6 flags.
Did you say the U.S. flag?
And one more time from the top.
Hold on.
Mexico,
Yes,
USA, Spain, France, Confederacy,
Republic of Texas.
Independent Republic of Texas, and we're going to put an asterisk on England because no one knows for sure. But those are the 6. And
how did we get on that?
And the 7th is a Pantera flag.
Sick.
Okay, no, but that's where there's 6. Okay, but all I'm saying is as we go through them, now that we've discussed the 6 flags over in Texas, isn't France is the odd man out?
Yes,
that's the one that you're like, what? So anyway, here we are in New France, in former New France, and we've got 2 Francophone Umbrophiles, and that's how I'm going to introduce them.
I think you should.
Okay, so
your forgotten flag.
Austin, there's been some rumors we might get some Francophone Umbrophiles out here tonight in former New France. Crowd goes nuts. Here's the first one. You know who? Anyway, and actually we're gonna do those songs back to back. So I was wondering if at some point before Thomas leaves the stage and Dave comes out, I say, Thomas, hang a second, and then Dave comes, and I was like, come on, guys, speak French to each other for a second.
Just speak French.
Not to put you guys too much on the spot, but just because one of the 6 flags over Texas was France, can we just get a little bit of French banter for whoever speaks French in the crowd?
We got French speakers?
What is banter is... Define banter for me. Is that aggressive or is that mild and nice?
Non, c'est de la tchatch.
C'est gentil.
Ouais, c'est gentil. Mais en fait, si on dit des trucs horribles sur le groupe, personne ne va s'en rendre compte.
Sur Vampire Weekend?
Ouais. Je sais pas s'il n'y a pas de francophone, donc on peut dire des trucs atroces.
Tu connais Vampire Weekend? T'aimes bien Vampire Weekend? Tu connais Ezra, Chris, tu connais un peu tout le monde. Je sais pas, en tout cas... Belle Eclipse.
Magnifique Eclipse.
Time Crisis with Ezra Koenig.
And then we got Brian Jones going to come rip a solo.
Oh, nice. Rip a solo.
And we also got some fun. You'll hear some of the old material. You'll hear radically recontextualized as we do.
Right.
So it's going to be great. It's going to be a mix of old and new, and we'll see how the weather goes. But I'm excited, and I'm glad that while I'm up there giving my heart and soul to the performance, you guys will be, I don't know, you'll be covering, got TC on the scene
mixing
covering.
up with the people backstage. We're going to figure something out.
During the show, I'll be watching the show. I will not be conducting TC business during the show.
Appreciate that.
All right,
all right. Yeah,
call it a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow at the show.
All right.
Peace.
Wow, guys, we are backstage here at the Moody Amphitheater after Vampire Weekend has just destroyed this audience. I haven't seen them since 2019. The boys were on fire tonight. It was so fun to be back. I love the new members of the band.
We got a great shot of the Eclipse. Not to diminish the band, but...
Yeah, it got eerily dark. As we've discussed on the show, I was at the Casper, Wyoming Eclipse in 2017. That was a bright, sunny day. This was pretty overcast. This was scarily dark. If Casper, Wyoming was an uncanny light, this was a terrifying darkness.
I definitely stared at it a bunch without the glasses.
I don't understand what the problem is with looking at the eclipse. Like on a standard day, if you looked at the sun, like it's not a good idea, but it's not going to like blind you. But if the eclipse is covered, doesn't it seem less dangerous?
There were times where the cloud was covering it and it felt safe. But I do have like a crescent shape, like a little bit. If I close my eyes, I can see.
Oh, really?
Like a bit of a crescent shape. But I think it'll go away.
I thought the 9-minute flower moon into the eclipse and then coming out of the eclipse with hope. There was a really nice narrative to that part of the set. I mean, that was like such a strong set of choices that were made there.
They played games.
Yeah, Josh, the guitar tech, was doing cornhole on stage. And then they were giving out chocolate bars that were rumored to have $100 bills in them. That could be fake news. I don't know. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing. This is like a fan podcast, like doing media breakdowns. Like those dudes that do like the Howard Stern post show.
To be clear,
that's what this is right now.
Make no mistake, we do know Ezra in real life.
Yeah, we do.
We've met him.
Yeah, we know him
countless times. A handful of times we've actually met him.
There was the craziest moment when the chocolate bars were being thrown out with the supposed $100 bills in it, and then I was like, whoa, pretty Wonka. And then 1 minute later, a dude walked out of the crowd wearing a Willy Wonka t-shirt.
Chalamet? Like the new Wonka?
No. Gene Wilder. And we were like, Wonka? Like, what are the odds that we would mention Wonka and then a minute later see a Wonka tee?
I mean, what are the odds that someone would come here wearing a Wonka tee before even having the Wonka event? Then you would make that comment. Then it would, like, that's like
1 in a billion, kind of like an eclipse.
During an eclipse, too.
It was a Willy Wonka eclipse.
Time Crisis with Ezra Koenig.